What is up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. Today is no different. We're going to break into some whiskey. I got 3 new Missouri bourbons, whiskeys. Got a little bit of everything. So most people have not heard of this distillery, so we're going to break it down, go over some stuff. We're going to try some whiskey. We got a honey finish in here too, so we're going to dive in. Let's go ahead and they got a little website going, right? So this is going to be Blacksmith Distillery out of Missouri. You know, I was checking out their website. One of my work buddies, they brought these bottles from Missouri. Let me try them. They're not mine yet, but I may buy them of them if it's worth it. So we're gonna dive into these things, but first, they got a little promo video on their website. I just felt like you guys have to see it because I watched it and I was like, I feel like you have to see it. So let's go click over to that real quick.
Blacksmith Distillery. 4 generations in Missouri with family recipes and traditions. Here's our founder and son of a blacksmith, Michael J. Broker Jr., to talk about our deep roots.
We lived exactly 2 miles and 1/10 from town, and Lawrence and I walked to school generally until later years, and then
Well, let's skip past some of those.
there was a bluff right where our road went.
A little further.
Wait.
Chasing me with a snake, and Dad, being a blacksmith, always had it.
Sorry, Dad. Let's just get to the good stuff.
At Blacksmith Distillery, we handcraft small batch and kick the out of some killer spirits. You like whiskey? We make great whiskey. Vodka, gin. Our head distiller has won international awards for that. Follow our crazy family-run distillery to see what shit we are forging next.
So for some good old-fashioned family tradition and quality spirits, come have a drink with us.
What are we doing?
Blacksmith Distillery. Forging spirits from the heart that are good for the soul.
Warning, this product may cause you to think you are funnier than you really are. You may feel an increased desire to talk loudly, sing karaoke, text silly pictures, and tell everyone that you love them. Drinking too much of this product may result in a long line of poor decisions, so please drink responsibly, but when you drink, make sure it's Blacksmith Artisanal Spirits. And be nice to your neighbors, spay and neuter your pets, and don't forget to recycle. And while you're at it, call your parents. They'd really enjoy hearing from you.
Okay, I'm done with the video. Bro, I was dying when I first watched it. Right, it's like, oh, you may think you're funnier than you actually are. I'm like, I may or may not be funny tonight. Who knows? Bro, the marketing on that was hilarious. That's on their YouTube page. I think I linked it down below. If not, I'll do it after the stream. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Let's check the chat, and then we're going to dive into some whiskey here. Obviously, starter off, we got Bourbon Daddy says, darn, there's still 9 hours to go. I'll be hugging the toilet by then. Hey, hopefully we see you in the chat tonight, because if that was 9 hours ago, you may be hugging the toilet. iRock says, Ben Holiday? I said, nope. Suka says, I bet you minus $100 I do. I'm okay. Thomas in the chat says, sipping on some Old Forester 1920, Old Forester 100, and Early Times Bottled and Bond mix. You're mixing all 3 of those together? That's weird. I don't know if that's good. iRock says, who else is already fucked up? Hey, we're getting there, bud. Thomas says, cheers, everyone. Ho, ho, in the chat. Ho, ho. Welcome to the stream, bud. A little old-fashioned says, cheers. Hopefully everyone is doing well. I think it's Friday. I think everybody's starting to rock and roll in this thing. Austin in the chat says, good afternoon. I think it's good evening. Let's see. Chris in the chat says, sounds like South Park commercial. Bro, that's what I said. It might be the same voice. Maybe I'm crazy. Bro, the host says the promotional video was entertaining. I was dying. It was probably the best part of my my little hunt I was doing. But one of our buddies, they sent us 3, right? So I have a cask strength or a barrel proof version. I got a rye version, and I have a honey cask finished. So I don't know if I'm going to like all these. And obviously the whole goal here is to tell you guys if I do, if I don't, what's my thoughts. Obviously I'll never recommend anything I don't think is good. So let's kind of dive into the first one, which is going to be the rye. So we went double screen here just because it's easier with the little overlay thing here. So the rye, it's going to be the Hammered Rye Missouri Bourbon Whiskey. Actually, do I have the right one up? Oh, it is, yeah. It's like a burr rye, right? So 60% corn, 30% rye, 10% barley. I keep calling it the rye because somebody told me it was rye. My bad. It does have the highest rye content from what I've kind of seen that they have going on. Now, the age on this stuff, though, that's where the concerning part comes in for me. Because, you know, I love me a good super long aged bourbon. You know, I'm, bottled and bond, 10 years, 12 years. You know, that's kind of what I like to dabble in. But this says, maybe I'm wrong and misreading it, but it says age to minimum of 100 days. I don't know if 100 days is long enough. Maybe I'm wrong. I do imagine, because this is like a family business. This is on their own personal farm, almost like in the backyard, from what I've seen. We'll pull that stuff up later. I'll pull their website up. We'll kind of go through it, because you kind of see like their whole families in their, About Us page, which I thought was pretty cool too. But I imagine that this is probably made in smaller barrels, probably has some like rapid aging stuff going on in there, whether if it's oak staves or something like that. So let's dive into the rye. Let's dive into the nose. Honestly, nose is really good. If we're taking first impressions right off the board, first impression of the first little sniff here, it's decent. It's nice and sweet. We're talking, some vanilla. It's been a long day, guys. We're talking some vanilla, some caramel, maybe a little cinnamon-esque, but definitely got some rye content in there that you're getting, because it kind of smells like a little refreshing part to the palate, which is going to be those spices from the rye. Let's go ahead and dive into the palate, see if it translates well. Okay, it's a little weird. Give me a second. That was my first sip all day. We should probably have done a little warm-up. Just to kind of reiterate, we have mash bill 60% corn, 30% rye, and 10% malted barley for their, I don't even think you can see this one on here. For the high rye version, that's going to be 100 proof, distilled and bottled by Blacksmith Distillery. Let's do one little quick taste. I mean, the caramel, the vanilla aspects, those translate fairly well. The rye part kind of dies off. It's not as kind of potent as I thought it was going to be, but it's nice. It's a nice sipper. I can tell the age, though. It definitely might have like some of that oakiness that's either coming from a small barrel or some staves or something like that. It's not too much, though, which I do like that aspect. I'd say this, the high rye, this is a win. I don't know what the cost is on this stuff, but we'll get that here in a second. But this so far is pretty decent. That malt might give it a little bit of that like dessert aspect when it comes to like maybe a chocolate. I don't get chocolate exactly though, but we're like on the trajectory there. So the chat's running wild already, boys. Liz says cheers. She says love the name, a little old fashioned. Thomas says, one of my many mixes of different expressions from the same distillery. Most are very good. Some are, gotcha. Oh, you're talking about your mix up here. Okay. Tuck says, boo, what the fuck is this live style? Hey, I gotta switch it up. We're gonna do a normal live here, then we're gonna do a late night pour on the other version. So hang tight if you like the other version as well. Tuck says, Lopez split personalities. Oh, I get it. Liz says, is that honey bourbon, the yellow bottle? Yeah, this is going to be Blacksmith Distillery's. It's their bourbon whiskey finished in honey barrels. So like a cask finish. So for this one, for the Missouri bourbon whiskey, aka the hammered rye, it's good. We're going to say this is a win. Lucky. This is the bottle that he said I could have because he like already kind of hammered through it. Get it? No? Did nobody catch the pun? Hammered? Little whatever. That's me. My bad. We'll leave this up here. And I'll just leave the Glen behind it. So I'm going to leave the honey for last, kind of like a little dessert aspect. But for the next one, we're going to move into the barrel proof. The barrel proof is what I think anybody from maybe this channel or that's really into bourbon anyway is going to gravitate towards. Most people are looking for the barrel proof, cast strength, things like that that just has more to it. And this one, for their barrel proof, the price tag still on is $48. $48 for a 119 proof bottle. That so far is a good price, as long as it's good, as long as it's decent. Like, this is a money price tag. I just like messed up the opening here. There we go. I'm not like, if I'm gonna like really critique it, like the plastic part, not a fan of. I feel like I'm opening up a little bit of a cheaper bottle, even though like the bottle's not cheap. It's weird plastic. I'm nitpicking, guys. I'm nitpicking. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't listen to me. What do I know? This is gonna be a mean cork pop. I can already tell. Ooh, that was, see, that's synthetic corks. Some people really like synthetic corks. I don't know. I love the feeling of an old real cork. That's just me. I know everybody else says, no, we need synthetic. It doesn't break. I don't know. That's just me. All right, so for this one in particular, let me pour this, and that way I can go back on camera. That was a little hefty. All right, we're on to the Black Anvil. So this one's going to be 78% corn, 12% rye, 10% malted barley, still distilled and bottled by Blacksmith's Distillery, 119 proof. 119 proof is kind of that sweet spot. You guys kind of know where I like it at. I like around 105 to 115 is like that money zone for me, but it depends on like what I'm drinking. Sometimes I like to go up a couple proof points. Sometimes I like to go down. Obviously, I like all proof points in general, but like if I really wanted to have like what's the best for me, that's that sweet spot. Thomas says, I buy any barrel proof expression that I can find from smaller distilleries. That's my point right there, is if you can put out a good barrel proof or a cast strength or anything along those lines, like the people will come, because people get hyped up about the proof. Proof sells. I started this channel not being like kind of like a proof whore in a sense, but like I feel like I'm kind of moving into that. Mr. Joker says, hey fam, just popping into to say hi and bye. Getting on the road to Wyoming. Kids got the wrestling tournament tomorrow. Have a great night. As always, fam, call me old fashioned. Joker, tell the kids a good luck. Tell them they can't come home without a W. So have fun in Wyoming. I wish I could go. That'd be pretty sick. Not to the wrestling match, but to Wyoming. Shoot, throw me in there, coach. Anyway, bud, have a good night. So for this one, let's kind of dive in. This should be very similar to or not similar, just some higher proof version of what they were considering. Let me see if I can pull it up. Their new daily drinker is what they're calling it. They said this is basically their flagship product, a classic bourbon with classic bourbon notes and a hint of heat. Meet your new daily drinker. That's what their flagship product. This is just the barrel proof version. So let's dive into it. Let's see what the nose is working with, and hopefully this is a good one. This one's extremely dark though. So when I saw this bottle, just so everybody kind of knows my initial thoughts, and then we can see if I was right or wrong. This on the back says minimum age of 6 months, but if you see how dark this is, this looks like Texas whiskey. That's how dark this is. I don't know if the camera, it looks like coffee, bro. I'm kind of white, but you know what I mean? Like, this is dark. So that's where the initial thought was, like, maybe there's some oak staves in there, or just really small barrel. I haven't got confirmation on any of that, but I imagine it is. But let's dive in. Let's not prejudge. Let's get a little sippy sip going. Ooh. That's a good. I kind of get a little tobacco on there though. That's good. It's definitely got some proof in there though. Normally when I kind of go in for a nose, you can kind of judge how that proof is going to hit you from the nose. Normally for me, I'm like, oh, no ethanol, sweet. This one's got a little, not ethanol, but you can just feel it. I don't know how to explain it other than that. For notes wise, you're talking about definitely some caramel, definitely some vanilla, maybe some like brown sugar-esque. Not a lot of spices. Definitely feels like more on the sweeter side. I don't know. Maybe I get a little leather or maybe a little tobacco. And that might be coming from the oak, because I definitely get some oak in there, maybe like a bitter oak style. Well, let's be the judge of that. Let's go on for the palate. We'll see what that's like. Cheers. It doesn't, I read that right. That went down way too easy. For 119 proof, that went, let's give it another shot. One sip, everybody knows the rules. I mean, fairly oily on it. It doesn't drink like 119 proof at all. This drinks like 110 at best, but that's like in a good way. You know what I mean? Like you get a little bit of that heat on your tongue, but it's not, you know, like when you take a shot early in the day, you take a little shot and it kind of like hits you in the throat. It doesn't do that. It kind of warms up the palate inside the mouth, on the tongue. It warms up nice, but it doesn't go too far. That's unique. That's a little bit different right there. I don't think I've had something, it's either one or the other, right? It's either like, no proof, or hit you in the throat. This one's kind of right in that sweet spot. I like that. That's different. But as far as flavor goes through, definitely not as sweet as what I was anticipating from the nose. I will say it's got more of like a burnt caramel feel as far as like that caramel aspect goes. Yeah, I'm still siding on it. It's definitely small barrels with maybe like an oak stave on there, because that oak is on that finish pretty heavy. I kind of like it though. Like as far as like the oak aspect, I'm a big fan of double oak. So I'm not saying this is double oak by any means, but it gives me like, it reminds me of a double oak from like the finish of an oak standpoint. So I mean, $50. This is decent for $50. One more. I'm throwing it back pretty quick right now, boys. So we'll slow her down here soon. I mean, I'd say it's worth $50 right there. You know, let me see if I can see. It's got a pretty good finish on it too. Like it's nice and long. Yeah, it doesn't really give you much on it. It just says nice, rich, warm bourbon, layered of flavors and complexity. I will say, every kind of sip I take from it, it's slowly like developing on my palate. I'm slowly picking out more and more. That could be one of two reasons. Either one, I'm just now starting to drink for the day, or the bourbon's doing that. If I had to guess, probably the bourbon though. Because it started off like nice and sweet on the nose, you know, a little bit of proof, but not much on the nose as well. But then you kind of move into the palate aspect. You still get the vanilla. The caramel kind of moves into like this, like more burnt style caramel, or like a dark brown sugar, kind of mixed in. Mix it with that oak, but the oak's kind of in two phases, right? It's in the sip, but it's also on the finish pretty heavy. The finish is where the oak kind of punches you, but in like a good way. You know, I'd say the finish though, like you guys kind of can tell, I either say it's a small finish, medium finish, long finish. This is going to be this, you know, medium to long finish, because it kind of sits in your chest, but not like much. It's more like on your tongue, which is like different, but I'm a fan of that. Ho says, this YouTube video really helped me learn more about bourbon whiskey, which I really appreciate. However, it's a shame that it's not available in Korea. So just so you guys know, this bourbon in particular, this distillery, is not available almost anywhere. They are in Missouri. You can go there. You can pick it up in Missouri. Besides that, this company is, I mean, I'm not going to say they're like brand new, but they're still in that beginning phase of branching out everywhere. I did see online somewhere that they're also in California. I don't know if that's right or wrong or what I saw for that, but this would be something like if you're passing through Missouri on the way to like Kentucky Bourbon Festival, if you're going out west from east and you're swinging through Missouri, you may want to look them up, swing by, pick up a bottle or two. So far, if I had to choose one, I'm going to choose this hammered rye. I think this one so far is the best flavor wise, but value wise, bro, $50 for 120 proof. That's pretty good. But I will say you gotta like oak, and you almost have to like oak staves. I feel like that's what this is. What's in this, and not everybody's the biggest fan of those, but I think until I can get real clarification on it, maybe I should stop saying that. But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from it, because of the short aging on it. I just that's what I get a feeling from. But I'd say this is decent. Is it the best $50 bottle out there? No. I'm super picky with my $50 bottles, so. But I think it's definitely worth the $50. And for something that you can't kind of pick up everywhere, I think that's kind of the attractiveness of this bottle. You know what I mean? Like you get to swing into Missouri, pick up a couple bottles that nobody back home is going to have. I think that's one of the best parts about this, because I know nobody else in town is going to have these. So if they wanted to try them, they'd have to come here. So let's break into one of their better selling bottles, which is going to be this honey cask finished. They have a bunch of other ones too. We'll pull up the website later where they have like a smashed apple, kind of like a flavored whiskey. They got barrel finished gin, high proof gin as well. I didn't get any of those. Maybe if the team over there sees it, they want to send your boy some stuff, I'm always here for it. I don't even know if they can, to be honest. But let's read their honey bourbon stuff here. Pull that up. They say we take a freshly dumped black anvil bourbon whiskey barrels, fill them with our local Midwest honey to age, then pour our bourbon back in for the rest for a while. The result is a phenomenal, smooth, sweet bourbon with an unmistakable natural honey notes. That's the part that amps me up. I love me a good little bit of honey, but I also don't want like fake. I don't want fake honey. You know what I mean? Like, give me the real stuff. And when I was talking to the guy at work, what he was saying is like, people in Missouri, they love to buy and use locally. So if they're going to be breaking out, their bourbon whiskey, mixing it with some local honey, I'm pumped for that. Now, this one's not high proof. This one's going to be a 90 proofer. But for a honey finish, I think that's decent. Well, you guys kind of know. I just did the short barrel Bee's Knees review. I think, well, I did it on the live. I shot the review. I haven't posted the review. But I think that one had some better aspects because it was like 111 proof. So I'll be excited to see what a 90 proofer, honey cask finish kind of feels like. I saved it for last because I was expecting it to be, I don't know how to freaking open up a bottle apparently, boys. Oh, I'm lost. Breaking out the handy dandy knife. I got this from Sugarlands in Gatlinburg. Keep it on theme here. I don't want to fuck the bottle up because it's not technically mine. Ain't nobody breaking into these without you knowing, though, for sure. Thomas says $50 is a great price for barrel-proof bottle of craft distillery. Most Michigans are close to 100. Shit, I ain't paying no 100. You gotta really sell me to get $100 out of my pocket. But that's where I was like, $50, $50 for a barrel-proof. Really, I kind of agree with you. Anything, you have my attention. $50, I'm down. Let's try it. Even if it's not like my favorite. 120 proof, it's hard to find in general. It's 119. Don't mean misspeak, but 119 is hard to find in general. I got a single barrel of New Riff that's only 110. All four of those bottles are double the price of one of those. So, and it's not even close to it in proof. So the proof sells, bro. I think that's probably their winner. Flavor-wise, though, I kind of like the rye a little bit more. Bro, I've been leaning towards the rye stuff. This is like a bourbon rye, though. Don't let me keep calling it a rye. Ooh, cork dot. Let's dive into their honey finish. Again, this one's going to be basically the flagship version of this, just a lower proof version, and then finish in the honey finish. So it's going to be 78% corn, 12% rye, 10% malted barley, bottled and distilled by Blacksmith Distillery. 90 proof. Let's dive in. Here we go. Anyway, boys, while we're going over this, let me know what y'all are all drinking on. I know some of y'all's got concoctions. I know some of y'all having like a little St. Augustine. Oh wait, she's not drinking. She's drinking what is Liz drinking? The Buffalo Trace vodka mix stuff. Touche. Tuck said BRB making a sandwich. Okay, make me one too. All right, let's dive into the honey finish real quick. I don't know what the fuck I'm smelling here. This one, what's crazy is like the 90 proof has like the most ethanol on the nose, which is strange. I mean, honestly, I don't get a ton of honey. Hold on, let me check. I mean, I get a sweetness, but I get a little bit of that their flagship smells, right? That caramel, vanilla, a little bit of spice aspect, maybe a little cinnamon, maybe, and then I get like this sweetness, which is what I'm just figuring is the honey. But hold on, I'm like tripping out here. Let's get a little roll on the glass, maybe my glass is a little weird. There it is. It's got a ton of ethanol on it though. For the nose, that's weird. Let's dive into the palate. Let's see what we're working with. That's money. That's way different from the bee's knees one though. I like that a lot. I'd pull up the other bottle, but it's so far back into the pile of bottles I have over here that I'm not going to do that. So kind of, that's money, bro. That's Honey Nut Cheerios. Bro, I'm starting to get into these honey finishes in general. This one's got a little bit more dynamic to it from what I was expecting. I was expecting it to just be honey, right? This one you get like basic bourbon in there, right? You get in the vanilla, you get in the caramel, a touch of spice, not too much spice. So I'm figuring it's probably that cinnamon I got earlier on it. But the honey part, it's not like thick honey, right? It's not like just syrup, right? It's nice and thin. You know, normally if I was like drinking a really thin bourbon, I wouldn't be a big fan. I'm like, it's too thin. Thin with this honey finish is really well paired because it's not like super overpowering sweet. You still get that proof feeling, and it's drinking higher than 90 proof. Like this doesn't feel like 90. This feels like 100. It feels like 102. Not 102. Feels like 100. But it kind of, the honey part coats your palate pretty well as far as that goes. It reminds me of Honey Nut Cheerios, a little Honey Nut Chex. It's like Honey Nut Chex when you put a little extra honey on the top. Take the spoon, you flip it around, give it a little extra. That's what it's like. It's good. I'm a big fan of that. I think this goes on theme for any honey finish though. I did it in the right order. You start with the lower proof, you move the higher proof, you go to dessert. The honey finish, as much as I do like it, there's only so many pours I could have of that. You know what I mean? Like it is a good way to kind of finish off a little nightcap. If your wife likes some kind of whiskey at all, maybe start her on a honey finish, because those I feel like that's definitely, not saying it's like a ladies drink by any means, but I feel like the ladies would like this stuff. Because it's nice and sweet, it's very approachable. But I could have maybe one decent size pour or like two my size pours. I will say, weirdly enough, it actually has like a little bit of a medium to long finish on here because it's still kind of just sitting in like the best possible way though. So I'm a big fan of that one. If I had, I'm moving all my stuff around. Liz says, wait, I missed it. Is it as sweet as the other bourbon you reviewed last week? I don't think it is as sweet. This one is definitely totally different than the Bee's Knees. I know everybody's hyping up the short barrel Bee's Knees, and it is very good. I do think personally the short barrel Bee's Knees is better. That's because that one's like triple the price. This one's very good though. I think this one's, it's different. It feels like a bourbon or like a little bourbon whiskey, and it's hinting at the honey nut Cheerios vibes. Where the other one is punch you in the face with that honey. The other one is thick, kind of coats your palate well, but it's very like, it's got a ton of viscosity on that one. This one over here, this one's nice and thin, which normally I would not be a fan of like super thin whiskey, but I think it pairs really well with this type of honey finish. So Liz says, call me old fashioned, knows what the ladies like. Trust. Hey, we're here for them. Tuck says, just asked Sergeant Johnson what the ladies like. Okay, guys, I was just going on theme here. Just going on a little rant. You ain't gotta try and roast me over it. But no, I honestly think it's good. I'm impressed for a small distillery. Let me do this. Let me see if I can pull up. Where is my stuff? Pull over a little screen share with you boys, and I'll go onto their website. So let's go to their homepage first. Yes, I'm 21. Thank you. Like their website's not too bad. It's not the best website, but that's me from like my creative side. But it kind of gets you in the spirit, right? Foraging spirits from the heart that are good for the soul. There you go, baby. Let's sell it. Obviously, it goes to the products, goes about their company. Apparently, they have tons of awards that I was not aware of. Emmy award-winning St. Louis, Missouri featured Blacksmith Distillery as part of the Missouri Bicentennial celebrations in 2021. How long is that? 4 minutes? I'm not watching that. Not right now, at least. They made it in a little magazine. Not a little magazine, that sounded fucked up. But you know what I mean. Full article. Oh, they're on the news too. I didn't actually check this page out. That's my bad. We got a bunch of stuff going on there. Let's see. Where to buy. That's the important stuff, right? It's all over Missouri, but there's like this one spot over here. Mr. G's Liquor in California. Contact Quinn. Obviously, if you're in California, by all means. But Missouri. Over by Kansas City. You got a ton by St. Louis. I don't know Missouri that well. You guys see the map. You see what we're working with here. That's where you can buy it if you'd like to go buy it. Or go to their website. Spirit enhancing kits. They kind of give out some mason jars with stuff. That's kind of cool. Team. Let me go down to the winner here, bro. Look at this. Look at John, Chief Flavor Officer. Passed out on the job. This one was the funniest one. Loretta. Loretta's the MVP. I don't care if they want to put her on there or not. It says Chief Heckler and Motivationer. It says, we didn't want to put her on here, but our lease agreement obligated us. So there's that. Anyway, Loretta keeps everyone inspired and fed. She cooks with our whiskeys. What's not to love? Hey, I think Loretta needs to go towards the top. She shouldn't be down here at the bottom. Like if we're critiquing websites, put her at the top, maybe the front page. I don't know what to tell you. One of the other perks as well is like, I don't get this part, but I like this part. They have a private label program where you basically, weddings, work events, corporate events, stuff like that. Like you can either label your own bottle, you can kind of help choose mash bills and stuff like that. Basically, it says Blacksmith Distillery provides premium distillant products that is or can be enhanced by finishing, accelerated aging, custom packaging. Standard program provides your logo, artwork, label information, or have Blacksmith Distillery create and design your custom logo logo or artwork on the oak barrel your product was aged in. That's pretty freaking cool. So that kind of leads us to maybe in the future, we kind of dive in and we do some of our own with them. You never know. If that's something you guys are interested in, we can always explore that stuff in the future. Maybe we take a little trip up there. Maybe we get the gang together. We go visit Missouri. I don't know. I know we're all going to meet up towards Kentucky Bourbon Festival next year. But maybe we can put that on our stops. They are near Ben Holiday. If anybody likes Ben Holiday. I love Ben Holiday. Hence why when I had the opportunity to try a different Missouri bourbon, I was all about it. Ben Holiday is one of my kind of go-to, just like grab it and sip it because I don't need to think about it. I know it's decent. I also like a little weeded aspect anyway. So anyways, that will end our professional portion of this stream. We're going to hang out for a few more minutes, probably take a quick intermission, and then pop over to a late night pour as well. But let's get back to the chat real quick. Make sure you guys aren't running too wild. Tuck says, bro, got that big old bourbon? I got that bourbon. Ho-Ho's putting in emojis that I can't see. I can't see any of the YouTube emojis, so. iRock says, what's up? Tuck says, hey, iRock. Making sandwiches. Dying, bro. Sipping E. Will. 100 bottle and bond tonight. What about y'all? God dang sandwiches. Tuck says, I'm going to Missouri this week. Hey, swing on by. Pick us up some honey finish. I don't own these bottles, by the way. They lend them to me. I can buy them if I wanted to. I probably want him to try these anyway. This rye is mine, though. I'm drinking the fuck out of that. I rock. Threw in an extra B. That's weird. No, yeah, the rye, that's probably, I don't know why. I've been feeling the rye stuff lately. What? Tux, I'm not going to read that comment. Anyways, they got social media, all that stuff, so check them out. This, bro, why did I just get a little maple pancakes on this thing right now? I think my nose is freaking out. That's different. That's way different from the first time. I'm like freaking out there. Nah, the cask strength's better. That's my bad. We started low. This is good. Don't get me wrong. The cask strength's the better one. Now that I've had both back to back. I've lost all control of the chat, boys. They got a mind of their own at this point. Anyways, final thoughts on Blacksmith Distillery. I think they got some good stuff. I can't wait to kind of see where they kind of take it, because I imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, people, but if they're newer, they're younger, they're only going to get better. Maybe if I had to be like real nitpicky, what I'd want to see, I want to see them do some bigger barrels and some longer aging. That's being picky. I understand that's a big step, but that's what I want to see, because I know the mash bill here, the distillate itself, that's got some real potential there. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the rapid aging, but from what they presented, it's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. That honeyfish just called my name. Thomas says, my wife's going to Kentucky next week, and she's going to bring me back a few bottles we can't get in Michigan. Oh, snap. Thomas, where's she going? I'm going to give this one a few more minutes on this stream. Then I'm gonna shut it down and I'm gonna create a late night pour version so we can go back to the version that Lopez likes. Lopez, by the way, I just want to point out because I'm gonna talk some shit later. He did not show up for this style live. He never shows up when it's this style live. He only shows up to the ones he doesn't like, so he complains. I'm just pointing that out. Ho says, what are some good bourbons, whiskeys to enjoy with cigar? So this combo is what I like. So I got the Eagle Rare, right? This is Buffalo Traces, but where's my box? I still got that Buffalo Trace cigar in there. I gotta smell it. I just got the box, and then I have the cigars for the Eagle Rare. These two pair really well. I think the bourbon doesn't enhance the cigar enhanced the bourbon. So some people kind of say it backwards. In my case, it kind of just gives a little bit more smokier, more tobacco feel to the bourbon. And this one's already kind of sweet, so it pairs really well with it. That's where that comes from. Honestly, I think a cigar would go well with any of the Buffalo Traces stuff because they're all kind of in that same realm of lean more sweeter, more approachable, decent proof, but nothing too out there. That's what I would like with the cigar. So, hopefully that answered your question. Ludlow to visit her sister. Well, there you go, Thomas. Tell her to swing on by. Bro, apparently Buffalo Traces Distillery has been pumping out some like hard to get stuff and like some secret stuff. So maybe she needs to swing by Buffalo. In like 2 weeks, I'll be headed up to North Carolina, but basically like right there by Gatlinburg, close to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I was debating on driving up to Kentucky, but it just doesn't make sense. It's like an extra 5 hours out of the way. You know what I mean? That's 10 hours round trip. That doesn't make sense. Thomas, what are we doing, bro? Why are you mixing shit? Thomas says, love Eagle Rare mixed with Benchmark Full Proof. Just drink one or the other, bro. I don't have the Full Proof. Every time like somebody brings up Benchmark Full Proof, I can't help but think about like how I go to the liquor stores and I just kind of like scan. I go, oh, that's it. I don't even like fully finish a thought process because I went there looking for Full Proof twice, came back with a single barrel and bonded instead of the Full Proof. Don't know why. It's just what I do. So eventually I'll get the Full Proof. I've seen it. I just haven't picked it up because I'm like, I don't really drink those too much. I mean, I have a lot of stuff here. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you popping into this part of the live. We're going to go ahead and end this. Give me 5 minutes. We're going to pop out a late night pour. I'm going to switch camera angles, so it's going to be the up and down version. But make sure you turn the bell on. We'll be back live in about 5 minutes. Ooh, gotta cue the outro. Oh, we didn't use the other angle. This is the bottles. If you want to take a quick look-see. Let's cue the outro. I will see you boys on the other side.
Artlist.io.
Oh, I played the wrong one. We'll play this one. Dun, 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 dun. I'm all over the place on the outro. That's my bad. I will see you boys in like 5 minutes. Peace.